Good morning and welcome to Newsfirst Prime Time Sunrise.
Hello there, very good morning and welcome to Newsfirst Prime Time Sunrise with me, Shane Silva, on the 22nd of May 2014. Let's start off with a look at your headlines. Train drivers and the Minister of Transport to hold discussions today. A new system to register domesticated elephants. And Modi invites SAARC leaders for swearing-in ceremony. On to your stories in detail. Now, a discussion is due to take place between train drivers and the Minister of Transport, Kumara Welgama, this morning. The aim of this discussion is to find a solution highlighting the incident where a train driver was assaulted at the Alawa train station due to a delay that was experienced.
We hope the department will intervene to arrest those who assaulted the train driver in the Polghavela Alawa train incident. One of the train driver's requests is for the department to provide them with security personnel. Although we requested for security prior to the incident taking place, it was inadequate. Therefore, we did not report to work as an act to protest in this regard. Meanwhile, the railway control room stated that 15 train services were cancelled last evening due to the absence of a group of railway drivers.
In another story that made the headlines this morning, now the Department of Wildlife Conservation is taking steps to introduce a new system to register domesticated elephants.
Director General of the department, H.D. Ratnayaka, stated that it is intended to insert an electronic chip into each domesticated elephant annually, which will contain all details pertaining to the animal. A special feature of this electronic chip will be that details of the elephant's DNA will also be included in the information that will be embedded in the animal. Ratnayaka said that the reason for this new development was to mitigate the number of instances of elephants being stolen. It was noted that there are close to 350 domesticated elephants located across the country.
In other local stories, a media briefing was convened to notify the public on how the compensation that was paid to a teacher by a politician who had ordered her to kneel down would be utilized.
Today we know that on the day of providing the order, how the provincial council ministers stood. It was evident how justice prevailed when they stood with the politician in question on the day the order was made. Politicians these days do not stand with the members of the public who are the victims of a politician's whims, but on the other side. One thing that can be highlighted from this court order is that it can be set as an example that the law still prevails in the country. Therefore, I believe what is required now is to build on a deep discussion based on this matter.
I hope to use the 300,000 that I received as compensation for poor yet intelligent children and for teachers who have a similar plight to what I experienced. The fund for this has already been established. There was a child who stole coconuts to pay for school fees. Then there was another child who had to wear her slippers around her neck because that child could not afford a pair of shoes.
Newsfirst, English news, now on Dialogue TV, channel number 9. You could catch our primetime breakfast news at 7 a.m, lunchtime news at 12:30 p.m, and our flagship news bulletin at 9 p.m. You could also keep yourself up to date with Live at 55s and Newsfirst Plus every half an hour from 8:30 to 5:30 in the evening. Newsfirst, Sri Lanka's only international news brand.
Let's now take a look at some news in brief.
A group of students from the Rajarata University engaged in a protest demanding that the suspension that was ordered on 27 students be lifted. The students who gathered at the Anuradhapura Jaffna Junction held a protest march up to the new Anuradhapura bus depot. Reports stated that the demonstrators carried out their protest opposite the bus halt for a period of 1 hour, blocking the road and disrupting vehicular movement. Customs officials discovered gold jewellery and a stock of gold biscuits worth 55 million rupees at the Katunayake International Airport. The items were concealed in motor vehicle parts. Customs officials stated that 2 suspects have been arrested in this regard. An individual died in a motor accident that occurred in the Kurupanava area in Balangoda. The police stated that the accident occurred when a motorbike collided with a bus. The deceased was Suranganuan, a 29-year-old and a resident from Kurupanava.
Leader of the Janasatha Peramuna Bataramula Sila Ratanathera convened a media briefing yesterday.
Yesterday we saw how ministers were screaming out claiming that they were pure. They said it with much confidence. So we request the government to expose the truth to the public, whether it was the innocent people of this country or members of the opposition that brought in ethanol and heroin containers into the country. Explain to us the actions, the legal actions that will be taken up against these ethanol and heroin smugglers. No action has been taken up to now. We do not remember if any action was taken up against these smugglers.
Starting off your international news this morning, Indian Prime Minister designate Narendra Modi invited the leaders of Pakistan and other heads of SAARC member nations yesterday to his inauguration next Monday in an unprecedented move, signalling his aspirations to be a regional leader.
The communication that Foreign Secretary Mrs. Sujata Singh has earlier this afternoon sent to her counterparts from 7 other SAARC member states. In this communication, she has requested them on behalf of the Prime Minister designate Shri Narendra Modi to invite the heads of government / heads of state of the countries of the SAARC region to the ceremony on the swearing-in ceremony on the 26th of this month.
If the Pakistani Prime Minister were to attend the planned ceremony in the forecourt of the presidential mansion, the event would be a first in the history of the nuclear-armed rivals, who have fought 3 wars since independence in 1947. The alliance led by Modi's BJP won 336 of the 543 seats in India's lower house of parliament, marking it the first time in a quarter of a century that the country will not be led by a coalition government.
Captain Alistair Cook is eager for England's new era to, quote, get going, unquote, in the one-day series against Sri Lanka.
Cook, aged 29, was absent as England lost their one-off 2020 international against Sri Lanka on Tuesday. But the Essex batsman returns for the 5-match one-day series, which starts at the Oval today. Cook said, quote, I think getting going are the right words. We want to start the journey of the next year or so, unquote. Since returning from a winter during which they were beaten 5-0 by Australia and lost to the Netherlands in the World 2020, Cook has been eager to begin working with New England coach Peter Moores. He added England had played really well for much of the 9-run 2020 defeat by Sri Lanka, but admitted at the crucial moments that they didn't quite get their skills right, whether it was with the ball, bat or fielding. Cook adds, quote, maybe it's the habit of not winning many games recently. Cook acknowledged victory would have boosted morale in the England squad, but felt they still had cause for optimism.
Well, there you go. That's a look at this edition of Newsfirst Primetime Sunrise. It was a pleasure having you with us and hope you have a great day ahead.
Hotline 0114 896 896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.